So Sharon, as far as getting new tenants into properties go and keeping them, has the high unemployment rate in the Houston area hurt the rental industry much at this point? And has the approval criteria changed to accommodate these all of these concerns and trying to take into account unemployment and unemployment benefits and things like that?
The answer is yes. In the beginning, it did hurt us quite a bit because we got tenants who were looking at properties, getting ready to apply, and then the COVID situation hit and they lost their jobs, and we lost the tenant. We also lost tenants in some of our houses because they lost their jobs. But as things began to kind of even out and we saw unemployment benefits coming in and people going back to work when everything opened up, things got definitely better because people were working again and people had unemployment that held them over during that time that they weren't working. The process has changed because what we're seeing now are people who are applying and maybe one of them has a job and it's had a job through the whole thing, which is fabulous, but the other person is getting unemployment. So I'm delving more into the situation. Each situation is unique, but we're delving into the situation a little bit more for each person. I do like to have a letter if they're just temporarily laid off from their employer saying that they are going back to work just as soon as they can get their clientele up again and they have need for their services. That's helping us a little bit because it's a little bit more of a guarantee that they are actually going back to work. If they are not going back to work, like I've had a couple of cases where tenants were living somewhere else and they decided that they wanted to move into the area because maybe their spouse's job was closer, then we would like the assurance of how long their unemployment is going to last and are they looking for another job and have they found one yet, which is very important. The whole real estate climate is now changing. It used to be that pretty much your living choices were defined by where you work. And here in Houston, I had a client one time that said that they wanted to live 5 minutes from work. And I told them then that we needed to find tents so that they could park in the parking lot because that just isn't going to happen here. I mean, even if you live a mile from work, and I know this personally because I don't live much farther than that, you can get in a traffic jam and it can be 30 minutes before you get to work. So that was the general rule before all this started. And now people who can work from home are probably going to work from home in the near future, for the foreseeable future, really. And so now all of a sudden people are waking up one day and saying, oh, I don't have to live near work again. So I can just live anywhere I want if I work from home, which is sort of true. It's also true about kids in school. If they're only doing the online school, then, they can pretty much be anywhere and still go to school. So I think that's changing the way people are looking at where they're going to live, and it's particularly changing our clientele for our tenants, which I think is going to be a good thing moving forward. I think as everything moves and evens out, then we're going to see more people moving out to the outskirts, the areas that are the suburbs pretty much, because they can then put their kids in the schools that they would like to see and do things that they typically couldn't do before. So I think we're going to see this as an evolving process. I think it's going to be one of those things where, we're going to have to change our screening a little bit. I always call former employers. I always call, or current employers, particularly former landlords, those types of things. And I think that's still going to be part of the process, but I do think we're going to have to look at some other criteria moving forward.